Hello again, I am Blunty, and this is the Snap 7 kit from Bitplay. It is one of a couple of new bits of camera equipment I was testing on my recent adventures in Texas, and I figured no better way to see if this thing is actually useful in the field than to throw it right in the deep end on some mission-critical shooting. And for those of you with short YouTube attention spans, to get right to the point, this is without doubt the most useful, best quality wide-angle accessory lens I have ever used with my iPhone, bar none. The setup consists of two main parts. Firstly, there's the lens, of course. There's actually a fairly wide selection of various lens options, but the one Bitplay sent me to test was their newest and most sophisticated model, the new HD wide-angle lens. And we'll circle back to the lens in just a moment, but the other part of the setup, of course, is the way the lens attaches, and here it's via a bespoke case with a screw mount for the lens. And while, yes, a screw mount will slow you down significantly in the field when it comes to attaching or detaching the lens during a shoot, which is, quite honestly, a bit of a pain in the ass compared with the much faster bayonet mounts or clips or magnets and stuff, the screw mount is, however, far more secure. You'll never worry even slightly that any bump or shock will dislocate or make your lens fall off and smash against the ground. And frankly, as much as a pain in the ass as screw mounts are, I would rather trade off a bit of convenience here for that peace of mind when shooting in the wild. Because a proper latching bayonet mount, like they use on quote-unquote real cameras, will add significant amount of bulk and weight and sophistication and moving parts to the whole thing on the iPhone here. And that's fine on a big camera body, but not so fine on the iPhone. And while on the iPhone 7 Plus I have here with a lens attached, of course, your secondary telephoto camera is blocked and useless. The case for the iPhone 7 Plus does leave it unhindered when no lens is attached, so that's fine. Additionally, you can attach grips to the case. The default grip is plastic and a bit cheap and nasty feeling honestly, but it attaches very securely and gives you the added benefit of a standard 1/4-20 tripod mount, which is very useful indeed. There is also a far nicer feeling wooden grip that they sent me. It's super nice to feel and use, but there's no tripod mount in it, so womp womp. Oh, and its attachment is a bit more fiddly too, using a simple loose screw instead of the integrated thumb wheel of the plastic one. Bit of a shame, I really do love how the wooden one feels, if only it had a tripod mount. And lastly, on the handling front, there's a little rubber thumb grip, which, while yes, only a small thing, does dramatically improve the handling, making it much more familiar to a normal camera's ergonomics. But cleverest of all is the shutter button, which mechanically connects the shutter button, up top right there, right where it is on normal cameras, to the volume button on your iPhone. There's no screwing around with little Bluetooth accessories, no extra battery to keep charged, just a simple mechanical lever mechanism buried inside the case itself. Simple, pure, genius, elegance, love it. And much like the thumb grip, it's a very simple but drastically effective difference to how it feels to shoot with this thing. However, its position also means I was inadvertently lowering the phone's volume more than a few times when I was doing things besides using the camera, which was very annoying, but honestly not a deal breaker once you learn to keep an eye out for it. But now, back to that lens. The new HD wide-angle lens is amazing. Pretty much every wide-angle lens I've tried with the iPhone has at least some effect on color, and many of them introduce artifacting like bloom or purple fringing at high contrast areas, and of course they all distort the edges of frame with that ever-present fisheye effect inherent in all simple wide-angle lenses. However, the Bitplay lens is an entirely different beast. Its aluminium alloy construction holds within it a real pro-level lens design featuring 4 lens elements in 3 groups. There is also a multi-layer anti-reflective coating. The result is an uncommonly sharp wide-angle accessory lens, and most impressive of all is the near-total lack of artifacting. Colors remain true, there's no halos, no fringing, and most vitally for making real and practical use of this lens in serious shoots, no fisheye effect. In fact, there's barely a hint of any distortion at all that you always get with common wide-angle lenses. I was utterly blown away, and very, very happy. Construction is second to none also. Metal lens body, even the petal-style lens hood, and even the lens cap are metal. This is not some funny little novelty toy or accessory. This is a lens made for people who care about what they're shooting. Of course, as with even the most sophisticated wide-angle lens, you'll get some flaring from point light sources, like the sun for example, and here it's a relatively subtle and pleasantly natural flare. I quite like it actually, and yes, that small lens hood actually does make a noticeable difference when it comes to side-on lighting. The Bitplay system and HD wide-angle lens is the very first wide-angle accessory lens solution I've been completely happy with. I've been using wide-angle accessory lenses of many different types with my iPhones for years now, usually only when I really just need them for a shoot, because there always was a quality drop inherent in using them, the fisheye effect in particular, the distortions, but here, with this lens, all of that vanishes. On my Texas trip with MSI, I was using this lens throughout my shooting days. This shot, for example, of some gameplay where I wanted this screen and the PC in shot at the same time. This was done with the iPhone mounted on a desk tripod, directly between me and the keyboard. Now, on past trips, I may have tried to do this shot with a GoPro and just sort of dealt with the huge fisheye effect that comes along with my GoPro, but with the Bitplay, not only did I get the framing I wanted, but I was able to use the shot right out of the camera. No post-production needed, no worrying about fisheye effect, no anything. Again and again and again, this setup let me get shots that I wanted the way I wanted them, quickly, easily, simply. And I kept the optional accessory pouch for the lens clipped to the straps on my backpack so I could quickly grab for the lens at any moment that I wanted, and it worked wonderfully well. This is, as you can probably hear in my voice, the most satisfied and most versatile I've ever felt in shooting with my iPhone. But all this wonderful sophistication does not come cheap, of course. Do note that this kit is significantly more expensive than what you may be used to spending for a simple clip-on lens for your phone. This is an investment. But with a screw mount, I feel, and you can feel too, at least moderately confident that you can keep using this superb lens as you move and upgrade through other phones just by getting a new case. And like I keep saying, the quality really is, literally, unmatched by anything else I've ever tried in this field. Worth every dollar in my opinion if you care about what you're shooting. I've never heard of these Bitplay folk before they asked if they could send me this stuff to take a look at, but it's pretty damn clear by the end result and the way this lens is built and designed that they are a pretty passionate and focused bunch of folk, and I will be keeping my eye on them. Very curious to see what they come up with next. Thanks for watching, I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.